Welcome everyone, my name is Joelle and today we have a yoga practice for sore and stiff muscles. So really perfect to release and open up through the entire body. So let's get started on our backs. Taking your time getting there. And once you're there, you can pull the right knee in towards the chest. And the left foot could stay flat to the mat, or you can extend that leg long. It might feel nice to hold still, or you could also sway that knee just an inch or two to the right and left. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose. One more breath here. And then return the left foot flat to the mat if you had extended. Cross your right ankle over the left knee and press that right knee away from the body. You could stay here, or maybe you lift that left foot off the mat, holding on in the front of the shin or in the back of the thigh. And again, holding still or swaying that little bit from left to right. So it's worth noticing today which areas feel particularly sore or tight. Directing the breath towards those parts of the body. Let's take one last little squeeze here. And then set that left foot down, uncross the ankle, and extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. Doesn't have to be straight. You could hold on behind the thigh or behind the calf, anywhere you'd like. And just find a little bit of length through the back of that leg. So not really pulling or tugging here, just finding a little bit of opening, little recognition of those areas that deserve some attention today. One more breath here. And then softly let go of that leg. Bring the foot back to the mat. Turn the soles of the feet together, knees out wide for butterfly. Arms could stay alongside the body, or you might like to extend them overhead, resting the back of the hands to the floor behind you. Imagine that the knees are heavy towards the ground. And let's bring the hands to the outer thighs to help the knees back up towards the ceiling. We'll take those stretches on the other side, beginning with half wind pose, left knee in towards the chest. Right foot staying flat or extending that leg long. You can hold still, you can sway a little bit. You can observe whether this side feels any different from the first. And then planting that right foot down, crossing ankle over knee. Press the left knee far away from you. Maybe you stay here. Maybe that knee comes in towards the heart. Rock it out. Maybe a few times before finding stillness. Releasing tension in the face, relax the jaw. No point bringing tension into new parts of the body just because we feel sore or stiff. Imagine that every deep exhale allows you to let something go. Place your right foot down. Extend the left leg up towards the sky, holding on wherever is most appropriate. The left foot can be flexed or pointed. Imagine the weight of the arms carrying that leg a little bit closer to the upper body. And then re-bending that left knee. Bring the right knee in as well, both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock a little bit side to side. We'll shift towards hands and knees, so you could roll over to one side, or you might catch hold behind the backs of the legs, and you can rock yourself forwards and back a few times, giving a little spinal massage to yourself, and eventually crossing the legs, maybe scooting yourself back a little bit, and coming to all fours. Nice. Once you're there, take a moment to kind of wag yourself again a little bit left to right. Find your way so that your shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, and then center the left hand right below the face and bring the back of the right hand onto your lower back. This might be enough of a little stretch for the shoulder here, or you could slide that hand further towards the left to intensify. Press the left hand down, maybe even doming a little bit through the upper back, chin towards chest. Releasing through the back of the neck. We'll simply switch sides, so centering the right hand underneath your face, spreading the fingers wide. Back of the left hand to the lower back, finding where you'd like to keep it rested. And then as you press the mat away with that hand, the chin can fall towards the chest and the spine can round. And then replant that left hand. We'll take a side puppy pose here. So offset your right fingertips just off of your mat and start to drive that left hand out towards the upper right corner of your mat. Lowering slowly with the upper body, sending the left hip far behind you. You could rest the forehead to the mat, or maybe onto the right forearm. And that left hand can come onto fingertips, or you can also place the pinky side of the hand down, so thumb facing up. Really pulling, creating more distance between those left fingertips and your left sit bone. And let's come back up. We'll take things to the other side, beginning by walking those left fingertips just off of your mat and tiptoeing the right hand far towards the left upper corner of your mat, resting yourself down, finding space again between fingertips and sit bone, this time on the right side. Breathing into the right side of the rib cage, Feeling the stretch in the shoulder. And then press yourself back up to all fours once more. Let's just sit ourselves back on our heels. Bring the right fingertips behind the body and then punch the left hand towards the right. It's a little twist here, but we're not holding on. We're really using our own strength to find a stretch through the spine. And then other side. Left fingertips support you. Punch that right fist towards the left. See if you can straighten through the elbow. Notice where you feel sensation. And then return yourself to center. We'll come back to all fours, but we're just transitioning through here, really. So step the right foot forwards between the hands. You can inch the left leg back away from you. And again, holding still or maybe swaying a little bit side to side. Always a nice option to help you find your posture. Keep the left hand planted down. Just rest your right arm up on that knee. You could rest the forearm down, or you could give yourself a little push with that hand. And then last option here, start to pull that left heel in towards your glutes. You could stay right here, squeezing through the left glutes, sinking the hips. You might add on by catching hold of that foot with your right hand. It's not necessary, it's just a little bit of a different option. And softly release the foot if you had hold of it. Both sets of fingertips framing that front foot. And start to send your hips back for a hamstring stretch. So we'll rock forwards and back a few times. Imagine a little bit of a seesaw motion here. Taking it slow. And the next time you're back, you could hold here. Staying up on fingertips, palms, remembering that the leg does not need to be straight. Think about sending the tailbone back behind you, creating a little bit of anterior pelvic tilt to really help stretch into the back of that leg. Wonderful. Let's bring ourselves forward, bringing both hands to the inside of the foot, just so you can step your way back into an all fours position. We'll come to downward facing dog just briefly. You can walk the hands forwards, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and send your hips high. And just step it out through the feet. Breath is still deep, gazing back between the ankles, more or less. And you can hold your left heel down. Keep the right one lifted, stretching into that left calf. And then switching sides, pressing right heel down. It doesn't need to touch. We're just looking again for that opening. Back of the ankle, back of the leg. And softly setting the knees down. Stepping the left foot forwards between the hands, finding your way into this low lunge. Little sway. Keeping some engagement in that right glute to encourage the hips towards the ground. And then planting down through your right hand, spreading through the fingers, and resting either the left forearm or the left hand to your knee. Gentle twist. Start to pull that right heel in towards your glutes. Hold it there. See how far you can get it without the help of the hand. And then maybe you add on by reaching back, taking hold of that foot and helping it that little bit closer. Gently release the foot. Both sets of fingertips frame the left foot and start to send the hips back for that half splits position. So remembering that seesaw motion, again, we'll rock it out a few times forwards and back. Let's just take one more here, wherever you are. And then holding that back position, letting the upper body be heavy. How does the second side feel? And bring yourself back forwards, both hands to the inside of the foot to sweep yourself back to an all fours position. And this time tuck the toes, but start to sit your hips back towards them. So we're coming into kind of a child's pose variation with the toes tucked. You can walk the hands out in front of you, but keep some pressure into them to keep pressing those hips back. Stretching into the feet. Just one more breath here. And start to walk the hands back in the direction of the body. Keep the toes tucked so that you can lift the knees up. Find your way into a standing forward fold. Knees are softly bent here. You can keep the fingertips to the mat. Hold your elbows. Or you could bring both hands to the back of the head, weighing it down. Maybe even giving yourself a little bit of a neck massage while you're there. And at the end of your next exhale, let the fingertips find the mat if they weren't already there. We're simply going to crawl ourselves back to a seated position, gently lowering through the knees, finding a cross-legged seat, shaking it off from side to side, and then bring the right hand down beside you and reach that left arm up and overhead. Might come down onto the right forearm, or just bend a little bit into the elbow. And we'll turn this into a side-to-side motion. So press the right hand into the mat and let that momentum carry you over into the same stretch on the left side. Right arm reaches long. Let's take that a few times side to side with your breath. So pressing off, really letting that hand on the mat initiate this action, moving you over to the other side. And just take one more to the right and to the left before coming up tall. Nice. We'll stay in this cross-legged seat, but just start to wiggle the feet a little bit further away from each other. So we're coming into a tighter position here. And start to walk yourself forwards, coming into a gentle seated forward fold. So with the legs in this tighter position as they are, probably feeling quite a deep sensation through the lower back, into the outer hips and glutes. You can give a gentle press down through the outsides of the feet, if you'd like even more sensation. Let's roll ourselves back up. Simply switching the cross of the legs, other shin in front. And same thing, start to wiggle the feet away from you as best you can. A little bit of an awkward position. Fingertips can stay on the mat or walk away in front of you as you forward fold. Finding perhaps that little sway. Dropping the head. Letting the neck follow this motion if you are swaying. And then straightening up once more through the spine, rolling the shoulders back. Come to any normal cross-legged position or other seated position that you enjoy. And final stretch here. Just place your left hand on top of your right shoulder. Drop your left ear towards the left. Stretching through the sides of the neck. And then other side, right hand on top of left shoulder. Head falls towards the right. Beautiful. Recentering the head, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands down to the belly and the chin towards the chest. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you enjoyed this practice, that you're feeling maybe a little bit looser and more limber. If you enjoy practices like this one and you would like more, I will leave a link here to a 10-minute practice that you might like to add on just to spend a little bit more time on the mat. Please do subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and I'll see you soon.